What's good, EL fam? LDB back with another tutorial. You know my dog choice is Ableton Live. I stand by it, I die by it. It's the best thing smoking, Fruity Loop people. Anyway, I want to introduce you guys to a new VST I've been working with probably for the last 24 hours. Just got my hands on it. I've been looking for it and I finally found it. It's called Melodyne Editor. You see it right here. Let me delete this. Show you guys how I drop it in. Anyway, basically what if you're familiar with it, you know what Melodyne does. If you're not, Google it, find out a little more about it, but I give you a brief summary of what it does. It basically gives you direct note access to polyphonic material. Okay, polyphonic material is basically a chord, multiple notes being played at the same time. And once again, what it does, it will allow you to correct bad notes in a chord, change chord structure, make a note longer, shorter, louder, softer, transpose it, quantize it. And this is after it's been recorded. Okay, so to give you an example, say I flew in a crazy piano player from London to drop some piano keys on a track I'm producing, and he's flying out later on this afternoon, 6 o'clock. He comes in, he does his thing, pay him, gets back on the plane, he's going to London. Well, I take a little break later on that night, I'm listening to it and I'm like, oh damn, he hit a bad note right here, or I wish this note would have been shorter or longer, or I wonder how this would sound if he changed the chord progression. Okay, he's gone. I paid him. He's gone. What am I going to do? Fly him back, pay him again? No, you don't have to do that with this VST or the standalone. Let you guys see some of what you can do with this. First of all, in order to put it on this track, you're going to have to insert it into the audio track. So however you do your inserts on your tracks and your DAW choices, how you would get Melodyne up and running. For me, all I got to do is go over here to my plugins. You see my plugins over here. It looks like a plug, don't it? That tells me that's where my plugins are. And once I open it up, Ceremony Melodyne Editor, go to the VST and just drag it and drop it on that clip. Close all that out. That got a couple of tutorials and stuff on it. In order to get it into Melodyne, you're going to have to record it, or what they call transfer it into Melodyne. And that's what this button is right here. Okay. First of all, let me take you guys to the view. When you get this, these are the things you want to have checked so you can see everything that you can play around with. Pitch curve, note separation, note tails, blob info, intended notes, and show replace ranges. You want to have those things checked so you can have full access to your toys. All right, so let me go ahead and get this recorded into here. And another thing real quick, when you're recording your material in here, don't have it looping. Just have it a one shot so it only records it in here once, because you don't need to record a 16 bar loop of this, because that's not how it works. So let me go ahead and transfer this in. Once again, all I got to do is hit transfer, and now all I have to do is hit play in my DAW. Okay, so I'm going to hit play on my MPC 40, and it's going to record it in here. You can see right here where it's recording the material in. Just wait till it stops and stop it. Stop play on my DAW. Stop play on my Akai APC 40. Alright, that's it. Now it's doing its thing, it's making the calculations and things like that. So let it do its thing. Once again, this is a very, very powerful plugin. It can drain your CPU. But you need to have a pretty decent computer when you producing anyway. Alright, let me go ahead and get this thing into focus so you guys can see what I'm working with. And basically what you're seeing right here on the screen is that piano broken down into waveform as a chord. That's basically what you're seeing right here. And another thing that Melodyne is good for, when you want to know the key that one of your samples is in, when you're recording it, you can see what key that sample is in. It'll show you while it's recording. If you remember when you were seeing it getting recorded in the Melodyne, you saw it was lined up with one of these notes right here. That's letting you know the main key that that chord is in. So when you need to tune your track, if somebody tells you, that don't quite sound right, the pitch is wrong, you need to tune it, you'll know exactly what they're talking about, and you can tune it. You can get it sounding good. Okay. I want to see if this if this piano sample has any wrong chords or wrong notes in it, basically. So in order to do that, in order to see that, I'm going to have to, this is your main tool, and I'm going to go to this tool right here, just highlight it, it'll turn orange, and now I'm looking at, this is where I want to be right here. Again, in your view where it says show intended notes, show blob info, that's what I'm seeing. And basically the blob info, what you see right here, these empty spots, are where potential notes could be to make this chord sound even better. Okay, now mind you, this thing did some calculations and some of those may not sound good. So it's up to you to figure out which ones you can add to make this chord progression sound even bigger, sound even better. And once you start playing around with it, you'll know just by looking at it what could probably help this chord progression sound even better. I can know right now that these, what you see down here at the very bottom, are obsolete. I don't even need those. I don't even need those notes. I mean, they're played so soft that you probably couldn't even hear them anyway. So what they have is what they call Venetian blinds. That's exactly what they call it. That's what you see me pulling up right here to tighten up this chord structure. So when I play it back with it down, you can possibly hear what you see, this red down here, yellow and red. These are potential. These are actually notes that were played. So, but when I pull this Venetian blind up to say right here, you won't hear anything down here when I play this back. Okay. So let me move this up now because I don't care about those little notes down there. I'm going to bring it up here. Now, these right here probably will make this chord sound even better, sound even more full than what it is. So I'm going to play around with these a little bit. In order to actually hear these potential notes, all you have to do is double click. So when I double click in here, it fills in a note. Okay, I'm filling in these notes right now. I want to hear how it sounds. And I'm remembering which ones I'm filling in, so if I don't like them, I can go back and take them out. So now, one thing about Melodyne, when you're in this mode right here, you're only going to hear tones. You're not going to hear the actual sample. And let me give you an example. You're hearing tones, but even with these tones, if something's out of tune or it's not the right note, you would automatically hear it. Okay? Now, if you want to hear the actual sample, I'm going to stop it. You'll have to go to your main tool to actually hear the sample. And as you can see right here, Melodyne is doing this thing, is remembering what you already filled in so you don't lose it. So when I play it back, you're going to hear the actual sample this time. See, it's sounding even more full by me adding this E to this chord structure. It makes it even bigger. So I may have went from a 6-finger chord to a 7-finger chord now just by adding that in. Okay, so that's the possibility with Melodyne. You can change and rearrange chord structure. You can add to the chord structure and all of that. So let me go back real quick and see if there's anything else I might want to add to it. And to get back to where you can add to the blobs, again, that's the main tool. Click on this one and you back to the blob. So I could possibly go in here and add some of these, but since they're so sporadic in here, I probably don't even fool with them. This was a more definite line of potential notes, so that's why I went ahead and filled those in, and it sounds good. So right now I'm pretty satisfied with it. It sounds good. Another thing you can do, once again, you got quantize your time, you got correct the pitch right here. So let me do that. Let me go back to my main tool. I'm gonna see if I have any, if I can tighten up the pitch of this chord a little bit. So first I want to do, I want to select all of the notes. Now you can select it by going to edit, select all notes, or you can just take your mouse and highlight all the notes. Okay, now I'm going to go to pitch correction, and I'm going to listen to it and play it, and you see right here you got correct pitch center or correct pitch shift. So if some of these may just be a little out of a line, this one is played pretty well, and normally, you know, if I played it, several of these notes would be out of pitch, okay, and you could correct it. Or like I said, if the guy that I flew in had anything out of pitch, I don't need to bring him back in the studio correct it. I can correct it in Melodyne. So let me play it. And if you look at the screen, you may see some of these notes moving. Like for instance right here, you'll see it moving up or down a little bit. Let me play it again. Everything, all these notes are basically pitched correctly, so it's not changing anything much. But I'm gonna leave it at 100% anyway, just to make sure everything is in the correct pitch. Sounds good, sounds good, sounds good. So let me close this down. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Let me insert another track and move this over. And I'm going to take the original sample and move it, copy it, move it to this track right here. And to copy it, all I did was hold down Control, grab it, and move it over. So this is the original right here. This is the original piano sample, without Melodyne, without any correction by Melodyne. No, that's probably loud. Excuse me. Let me bring it down a little bit. Once again, this is without Melodyne. Now let me let you listen to it with Melodyne. Should be able to hear a distinct difference with Melodyne, without Melodyne. With Melodyne, without Melodyne. The one with Melodyne, to my ears, it sounds more in the pocket. You know, it's like if a group was singing and the harmony was perfect. That's what it sounds like in my ears with Melodyne. But anyway, that's a look at my new toy, man. Melodyne editor. Google it, look it up, look at some tutorials online. Go to the website, check it out, man, and see if you can incorporate it in your production game. I guarantee you, You're gonna fall in love with it when you get it.